calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThatUmbrellaGuy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a man.
Nay, nay, nay.
When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful. A miracle, oh, it was beautiful. When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful. A miracle, oh, it was beautiful. When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful.
All right, how's it going today? Welcome to another edition of pretty funny crap going on with the internet. We are talking about bans, cringe. Oh man, I mean, there's going to be some good stuff. Journalists wanting to go to war. Oh man, always some fun times. To start out, I thought I would show you something funny. We've been talking about that Eliza Bleu, you know, the person that Elon Musk has decided to burn down Twitter with. Well, they were on the show Blind Date at one time. Here's the episode. This episode is pretty cringe-inducing. So I thought we would watch this as everyone shows up. And we'll go through super chats that popped up in just a minute, too. When we started out. Hey, Stacy D, thank you also for the 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate that. Thank you. If you're wondering who Eliza Bleu is, by the way, Twitter is basically being burned down because of this person. Elon gifted her a Tesla, some other stuff. Well, apparently Elon has decided he's going to go full bore for her. You know, he's going to change the Twitter rules. He's going to do anything to protect her. She had a few questions about her past in which, she describes she was trafficked. She said she was trafficked on Twitter, in fact. If you're like, what does that mean, that umbrella guy? How do you get trafficked on Twitter? Well, wait, I'll show you that. But first, let's go over the wonder of Blind Date. Buckle up. This is exactly. Now, the quality is how it is. So, here we go.
Let's move on. Now, Eliza lives a rock and roll lifestyle. She says she's pretty exciting, but she still has problems when it comes to men.
I'm self-seeking, self-centered, and fear-based. And I have high expectations as far as sex goes. Sometimes they ask me, like, were you faking? Was that real? And I'm like, not the hair. It was black one, and it was blue and pink. I think it can be really sexy, and it just takes a certain type of guy to appreciate it.
Well, who better to appreciate Eliza than her date, Mike? He's an artist who says that when he's not in the studio, he's living life in the fast lane.
I like danger and adventure after I've done it. I didn't
Welcome
like
to
it
danger,
as I was
Mike.
doing it, but after it was done, I was really psyched out. If someone pisses me off, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's a girl, if it's a guy. I don't put up with crap. I like a girl that can kind of bring out the wild side in me.
Well, I've got good news for you, Mike, because nobody knows more about the wild side than Eliza.
Indeed.
So let's brace ourselves and see where this date takes us.
Get in there,
And
Mike. Get in there. You got it, buddy. Obsessed with her hair. Doesn't own underwear. Oh, no.
Hi. My name is Eliza.
Mike.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, you ready to go?
Yeah.
So what do you do? What do you do out here?
I'm a singer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's cool. What do you do?
I do computer animation.
Oh, cool.
And stuff, yeah.
Nice. I'm from Illinois. Where are you from?
Virginia.
Really?
Going to Florida, yeah.
So what do you do, like, when you're not Working.
What do? I hang out with friends, go to the pool, go to the gym. So where do you spend most of your time?
It all depends. 10 hours is a long time to spend with somebody that you don't know.
Yeah.
No, it's just like a long day, especially for a girl that's not used to like doing much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess it's not that bad.
I hope not.
So cringy, man.
You guys know we make meals for like 1,200 people,
Right.
and our whole goal is to make nutritious meals so that we can totally. And here's an apron for each one of you.
Thank you.
And it's imperative that your hair is covered.
no.
I'm sure you guys went through the orientation.
No.
Well, actually,
Tell you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Eliza complains a
You gotta
lot.
cover your hair.
They can put a counter on her.
I cannot believe that they made me wear a hat. It's like major no.
why? Your hair?
Yeah, you just don't do that. I smell like jalapeno. My hair's gonna be flat.
All right.
Yeah.
So are you like pretty crazy or?
Me?
Yeah.
Probably clinically insane.
Oh no, she's got a knife
But,
too, and she's saying that.
Crazy, like wild crazy?
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to the bathroom so I can take this thing off. Thanks for the hat. No!
You seem concerned about your hair.
I'm very concerned about it. I love hair. Well, my hair. For the most part, it can be pretty nice. I'm serious. If you get me in my element, I'm fine.
What's your element? We should probably get there.
Damn, that was a heck of an own right there. We should get you in your element then.
Kim Lee is my name.
Kim Lee, nice to meet you, Kim Lee. My name's Eliza.
Pleasure meeting you. I'm going to start with just a few warm-ups over here, so come on over, kids. Make sure,
Wait, I can't do it.
Come back. You got to go on the bar.
I think I just cut myself.
Where is it?
Right here.
I know, but where'd you get hurt?
That's okay. I'm fine. It's just like a little scratch. See?
She
It's okay.
seeks attention, huh? Whoops.
This guy's going to get in shape while you're just sitting here. Stand up and turn around like that. This is easier.
It's really hard. I don't know why you subject me to doing this. Okay.
Wasn't my idea.
Oh, this is brutal. This is brutal.
Watch out. Huh? One more. Nah.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, you failed that one. Not
I
sure.
totally
Oh,
failed.
you did very well.
Yeah.
That didn't go well.
Brutal.
So what do you find to be your best trait?
My best trait.
Yeah.
My best trait.
Complaining.
Like, the thing I do the best.
Yeah.
I don't know. How about you?
If I set a goal,
Quantum physics.
I'm
It's
pretty
awesome.
good at going out and accomplishing the goal. What do you usually look for?
In a guy? I like guys that are emotionally unavailable because then I don't have to get attached to them. Because if I sat on myself, if I actually fell in love with like a guy that actually loved me as much as I loved him, I would be really freaked out. You know?
Her ex-boyfriend called her the shark.
Rejection almost. So what are your feelings so far?
I feel irritable, restless, and content. Slightly annoyed. Okay, now it's your turn.
Run, dude. Run. Yeah, you're a nut job.
It's
Exactly.
definitely been interesting.
Yeah. He looks like it.
It's fun.
Oh no.
Maybe you should have stayed there if you wanted to.
I was thinking about it.
It's not rude, believe me. I know what rude is.
Yeah, I do too now today.
Oh. Oh.
It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, not good. Looks like Mike was fighting the losing battle right from the start. And when we come back, Eliza will tell us exactly why this date went into the dumpster. So stick around.
Oh no.
Hi there, Steve.
Welcome back to Blind Date. Now, before the break, Mike and Eliza went for a date in the bizarro world. They served food to the homeless, worked out a little, and rode a bull. But mostly, Eliza complained and Mike suffered.
No. No, I don't think we hit it off at all.
I really would have to compare this date with extracting your own tooth.
I'm looking for a guy that's tall, skinny, pale, lots of tattoos, and is a rock star.
I basically just
Extracting your
tried
own
to
tooth.
zone out the pain.
I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for him that he had to put up with me.
Once we got to the bar, I tried to have a good time.
I was happy that he was talking to another girl at the bar.
Oh no.
She's very pretty.
I don't think she should be expecting any calls from me.
No, I'm not going to see Michael again unless I run into him somewhere, and that's not very likely.
My guess is that if Eliza ever runs into Mike again, Mike will run. Stay put. There's more Blind Date coming up.
All right. So that was a little warm up. Now I'm going to show you something. Now, again, I need you to understand who this person is, because this person is burning down Twitter right now. Now, with all seriousness, I'm going to give you a little crash course in how this happened. Just very quick crash course. And then I'm going to introduce you into what she calls trafficking. Because did you understand that trafficking meant someone using your picture online? Did you know that that was trafficking? That's right. So Eliza is a trafficking advocate, self-described, and that's fine. That's great. We need more trafficking advocates. The issue is that she also says that she's a survivor. The issue in the survivor thing, a trafficking survivor, mind you, not a survivor, a trafficking survivor. The issue became she gave a date for when she had been trafficked. Okay, she did this herself. She decided to say it happened in 2017. The problem, or 2007 rather, I said 2017. The problem with that was in 2007, she was recording her entire life. And her entire life was spent following the band My Chemical Romance. So it didn't actually work together. Well, there was a person named Brittany Venti that asked about this, saying, hey, what's going on with this stuff here? You were doing music videos and other things there. Yeah, so Brittany Venti got banned by Twitter. Let me show you one thing before we hit this description of. So in the aftermath of this, banning wise, here's just a few screenshots of the quartering, just armies of people, including Yellow Flash. Again, the quartering, Brittany Venti, just dozens and dozens of people have been locked out. And some of the things people are being locked out they're not because they've shared one link. So Twitter is doing something crazy with this, right? They've decided to, first of all, they decided to do something that they denounced prior Twitter for. They released it in the Twitter files. They have taken a link and they have made this link unsafe to go to. They label it as unsafe. Here's actually the label to the link itself. This is what they were first doing with it. Anytime it comes up, bam. And anyone that shares this link, they get suspended from Twitter. This is supposed to be something that is saved for CP. the worst stuff out there. But instead of that, it's being utilized to scrub somebody's history online. Now, on top of that, Eliza went even further. The video that was there, she filed a privacy complaint against it. Now, if you're like, hey, privacy complaint, that must mean that she has some kind of hold on it. No, it doesn't. It's just a random complaint that you give to YouTube, and she managed to get the video taken down. It's set for 6 years, by the way. Multiple screenshots and everything else. But once people started asking questions, presto manifesto, that baby was gone. Privacy complaint. She struck it after 6 years. 6 freaking years. It's a rap video. Now, there are multiple other videos, and I've been asking about this. I've been like, okay, so if she's going to scrub her past, here's a little problem for her, though. She has her own YouTube. And on her YouTube, she actually, I think she had that as one of her favorited videos. But then it disappeared. As well as other rap videos that she was part of. And again, you can have a past. There's no problem with having a past. I mean, you can be 2 things at once. You can be an advocate and you can be someone with any kind of past, really. That doesn't matter. The problem became, hey, what about when people ask questions, they're getting banned. So the more questions that come up, though, the weirder this gets, like the idea of trafficking. Now, when you and I discuss trafficking, that involves being trafficked in real life, right? Not according to Eliza. Eliza says that you can be trafficked on Twitter. That's right, trafficked on Twitter. And if you're like, how exactly does that work out, that umbrella guy? Well, let's check it out together and we'll see. Oh, man. By the way, what's up, Blue 1968? Thank you. Welcome. Thanks for your membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. I appreciate it. I'll hit all the super chats as they come in a minute, okay? So I will not miss anybody. You've got to hear this. This is insane. Buckle up for it because my response to this was somewhere between what the and it really irritates me. I can understand why somebody might want to scrub their past for this. So listen to this.
I was trafficked on Twitter as well. So there's been 3 profiles to my knowledge that my former abusers made to traffic me on Twitter. I didn't realize because I kind of just signed up for Twitter in late 2019. So it was like one of the last few days of 2019, I signed up for Twitter.
But what does that mean that they trafficked you on Twitter? How can someone traffic you if they're not in contact with you?
Yeah, so the way that was working.
Now, that's true, actually, just to know. Part of trafficking, I mean, this trafficking has a specific definition. You know, there are people that are saying, well, maybe you can be. No, you can't. You have to be trafficking, human trafficking. There is a human element that is part of the actual definition to it. The key component to trafficking, it involves harboring or receipt of persons. That is the key component. Hence, human trafficking. You cannot be trafficked. You can't be human trafficked on Twitter. There is scamming and everything else, but there is no human Twitter trafficking. So let's continue. Let's get this answer.
I didn't know about the profiles existing because I wasn't on Twitter and I wasn't looking for them. The way that my former abusers were doing it is that it was going back to my Instagram. The Twitter accounts were linking back to my Instagram and they were trafficking me off Instagram, Backpage, sugar daddy websites. I mean, whatever type of internet trafficking is what was happening. I'll go into more detail. So it looks like a profile. In my particular case, the profiles look like profiles that would be me, but trying to entice business to sell me, bringing it back to my Instagram where they were doing business. Fortunately, in my particular case, there are no nude images or videos of me on Twitter. Thank God, right now. The day is young, I guess. But it would go back to my Instagram and that's how they would traffic me, sell me without my full consent and without my knowledge.
They would traffic me and sell me on Twitter. Hence, human trafficking. So they're taking your photographs from somewhere else and they're selling them or they're using them to catfish. wait. Now he's going to bring up like what the what. Also, Fair and Balanced, by the way. She noted this. Thanks for the $10 on that. But she's working on a she's working on a series for this, and she actually put out a teaser which is being throttled. It's being ghosted on Twitter. You can't find it when you search. I mean, this person again. Yeah, they're being protected. They are part of the Elon Musk inner circle. Elon gifted them a Tesla, goes on, different, all these different places with her on online, gave her part of the Twitter files to talk about. I mean, it's just crazy stuff. But Fair and Balance says folks have been have been amazing sending videos for the doc I'm doing. It's so much now, 3-part series. Imagine being that much of a liar. I have to produce and edit 3 hours long video of you. 3 hours worth. Now, so the interviewer here is actually going to try to help out a little bit through this too, because this doesn't sound good. Again, you were a trafficking survivor, not advocate. Again, anybody can be an advocate. You can be an advocate. You don't have to have a history with it. But again, you can be a survivor of many things too. Her own words bring up questions, and her own words being questionable. She's like, not going to answer that. I'm going to get people banned instead. But let's continue.
When I joined Twitter, an ex-boyfriend actually pointed out the first profile. After I reported it to Twitter, it took them 3.5 months to take it down. The second profile took 5 days. They actually took it while I was on my way to do they took it down while I was on my way to do my interview with Tim Cast.
So you notice this is a brand new thing, by the way, because she's talking about her interview with Timcast that just happened. It was part of the Andrew Tate thing. As I've said before, this is one of Andrew Tate's main accusers. Now, when I say that, it does not have anything to do with Andrew Tate, except she said during it, I'll go over the statement because I think you need to see this every time we talk about this subject. But one of the warnings she gave was Andrew Tate, he seduced the right. It could be any side of anything, but he seduced the right. He did this, that. You've got to, it's a warning message. So if there's a warning message with that, doesn't that apply to everyone? But let's continue.
And the third profile, the platform has refused to take down.
Okay, so I don't understand. So someone creates a fake profile of you. There's photographs of you. How are they monetizing this? How is Twitter getting a cut? Like what's literally happening?
Yes. So Twitter cut off all of our Twitters based off advertising sales and data sales.
He sounds so confused. He's like, wait, what's going on again? I'm confused here.
So any profile that's on Twitter, they get a cut of it. So they can say to Pepsi, Coca-Cola, whomever they're doing business with, we have this many active users on our platform. So in essence, you and I are definitely making them money. When it's a free platform, we are the product.
But how are these people who are using your images making money themselves?
So, it would depend. So my trafficking situation is going to be a little bit different than what we're going to talk about with the children. So in my particular case, they're impersonation profiles that would have led back to them selling me to do business. So they would lure somebody in with the profile, like, oh, this is a pretty girl, blah, blah, blah. Because it's been
That's called catfishing, by the way. He's like, ooh, look at this. Like, look at that there, young, Again, you could maybe make a case for identity theft. That is not trafficking. That is not trafficking in any way, shape, or form. Again, human trafficking involves a human element.
a while that I've had the opportunity to be free. So it's not like it's still happening.
Sure, right.
But they would lure.
She also said, I've been free. So she's saying she's made. If you listen to that statement, I want you to hear that just again, okay? Because I thought that was interesting. I didn't notice it the first time there when I went through, but she denotes being free. So when the accounts get taken down, she was being human trafficked. Someone was harboring her, and then she got her freedom. Okay.
Still happening. thank
Sure,
God.
right.
But they would lure somebody in, direct the business back to, I'm assuming, either a dating profile or, kind of like when you see folks saying, oh, click this for my nudes or whatever, they would send them back to my Instagram or other profiles, platforms, I guess, who knows? Because I can't see inside the DMs. So I don't know what's going inside on the DMs on the back end. But I have been able with an organization to sort of track some of the use of these profiles.
An organization. You need an organization. Just it's called Google. You do a reverse image search for yourself. It's anyway. Could you imagine being yeah, I'm going to contact this survivor network. You know why? Because I need you to help me stop them from trafficking me. Oh, yeah, sure. Where do we bust you out of? Bust me out of Twitter. It's like, wait, what?
In some of the communication back with the other profiles, and it's really scary. So it would be someone that they would contact to do some type of business and then take it somewhere else. Now, what does scare me about those profiles still being active is that my abusers are still free. So they could be using my image to contact survivors that are already more vulnerable, of course, for trafficking or abuse. They could be using those profiles to traffic other women. That's the truth. They didn't stop.
So
when they lost me, they didn't stop.
So this is a kind of identity theft kind of situation, but instead of getting a credit card in your name.
So look, he's trying to save her. He's trying to help her save face there. He's like, that's an identity theft situation, right? Again, he's helping out there. I mean,
they're basically saying, I'm you. I'm also known as this. Come talk to me. Or in the alternative, instead of being some kind of vague positive thing, like I'm going to be your friend, it's that you want to see sexy pictures of me, come join this site. And you're basically being an unpaid spokeswoman for whatever nefarious organization or person this is.
I found there was a website. Actually, maybe I shouldn't talk about it. I'll probably leave that out. But yeah, there's a lot of things that go on. And now more than ever, I am terrified because survivors are already vulnerable because they've already been trafficked, that they are using my name and likeness to contact our most vulnerable.
So I want to pull up something with that now. I want to pull up the United Nations definition to what human trafficking is, just for kicks here, because it has certain elements that meet. By the way, Fair and Balanced, thanks for 5. The symposium, she spoke on Tuesday. She said she wasn't chained physically, but she was chained in her mind. Fair and Balanced stuff's going to be like, drink that in. Okay, drink that in. She wasn't chained physically. She was chained in her mind. And again, it's like, wait, what? What's going on? And again, I'm not saying people can't mentally abuse or manipulate you. It's just like, wait, Twitter trafficking and all of this stuff, it goes against the whole idea of what she sold as. Again, she could have been an advocate and been good to go. No problem. She can have all the past she wants. But questions about this, they can't exist. Mystify, thanks for the 10 there. She does not even know what trafficking is. I can't believe this idiot got my Twitter locked. Yes, indeed. So Mystified was another person. And you know what she got hit for? She got hit for sharing an interview that was not part of that. I get the feeling, I've noticed this. So I was going through looking at different pictures that had been up because I was curious. So Eliza Bleu goes by many different names in the past. Eliza Cuts, Eliza Sif. I mean, or Sif. I don't fucking care how it's pronounced, but she's gone by many a different name in the past. And if you go and you search these on Twitter, you'll notice that the same things that she's wanting to take down now were used as advertisement for her, not for some other place, but for her. She advertised herself until it became something that she didn't want anymore. When she's changed image, that's different. But here's the UN. What is human trafficking? Now, human trafficking is a global crime. Trades in people, exploits them for profit. All gender, ages, and background. Traffickers use violence, fraudulent employee agencies, fake promises of education. They trick, coerce, deceive their victims. Human trafficking is defined. The UN Trafficking in Persons Protocol, which is the recruitment, transport, transfer, harboring, or receipt of a person by such means as threats or use of force or other forms of coercion, abduction, fraud, or deceit for the purposes of exploitation. Now, again, the human element, the harboring or receipt of a person. So all the other shit at the back, you got to remember there's a person, a physical person involved. That is human trafficking. So this idea of Twitter trafficking doesn't exist. We can't just change that up and just make it into something. Now, the reason that this matters too, again, when she was talking about, she is the main detractor for Andrew Tate. And in her statement about Andrew Tate, she actually makes a bludgeoning threat, in my opinion. There's a threat as part of this. I want to read you the threat and then her, the seduction of, because this applies to anyone. Beware the wolf, beware them. Unless it's them, then don't ask questions. Australia's not real. Just ask a flat earther. That's funny. Thanks for the 5. She was on Timcast. She came across as a liar. I didn't give a crap who this person was until they started getting people banned for asking questions. Then I did start caring because you know what? I'll be damned, and I will be damned if I will be told what I can or cannot talk about. Specifically, when Twitter changes its rules and its internal mechanisms to protect Musk and his inner circle, it's second verse, same as the first, old management, new management, how do they differ? They don't. They may use old management protected their interests. New management protects their interests. It's the same game. Same game. But you see this. Okay, this is a threat. Now listen to this here. I mean, just really think about what's said here. So it talks about the right, So it said, when confronted with Andrew Tate and his crimes, many people on the right reach for whataboutism. In this case, what about Jeffrey Epstein? Well, fine. What about Jeffrey Epstein? Epstein had defenders in the media for so long, not because he was guilty, but because he had blackmail material in their leaders. Conservatives rightly say that this is a matter of public interest because our leaders should not be blackmailable by men with secret empires built on rape. By the way, this person, again, a listening believer, identifies as right. And I thought every time I see a talking head discussing the views of the right, I thought a listen and believe wasn't supposed to be one of them, but I guess they are. Now, listen to this here. So what does this have? What does that say about figures defending Andrew Tate? Is it just a coincidence that the people speaking up for him have almost all been photographed with him? Should there be a public list of high-profile visitors to his compound in Romania, where Tate's harem of coerced women may have been obliged to provide them whatever pleasures they desire? Tate has cameras all over the compound. How many of your favorite influencers do you think he's been on camera doing God knows what? Now, again, remember, Andrew Tate was built up. He had a second one. He had all of the stuff he did prior to people being introduced to him, especially in the last few months. He was a quote-unquote men's rights activist, part of the manosphere. Before that, though, there was a hidden past, we will say. He had made a lot of contacts. And it is an implied threat of making a list of people and comparing them to Epstein's clientele. That is a threat. That is very much a threat. You will listen. Or else. Then she says this, and I think this is a powerful message. Just replace the name Andrew Tate with Eliza Bleu. And think about it as questioning. Tate has seduced the right, just as he seduced so many of his alleged victims. He made the right think he loved them. He made the right think he cared. He made the right think they were special, they were important, they would look out for them. Now the spell is breaking. Many on the right are still whoring themselves out. To Andrew Tate, you're not an ally, you're a sucker. But now you have power. Power to tell Tate something that hasn't heard in a very long time, which all the world needs to tell him, not just for the sake of the women he hurt, but for the sake of the sons of this time. Da-da-da-da-da. No means no. Well, it's the same thing. Manipulation. If it's good enough for one, it's good enough for another. But the world is painfully silent when it comes to this issue. And again, I mean, there's been a lot that has come up. There's also been so there was actually a discussion, and I thought this was pretty valid too, because it shows you what people are being asked to actually be part of. So there was a discussion about the first. Here, let me just pull this up here. I'll read the discussion and you can see what happened here and what people are being asked to back, because people don't actually ask questions. So Eliza said in December, I've never spoken about this, but my story as a survivor is questioned. Here we go. In the summer of 2013, I emailed this place right here, talking about them. Now, the date, there's a different date here. So it was 2007 in one place. It's 2013 in another. But just paying attention to the place here and the person that's talking here. Oh, man, she's legit. We love you. Okay, this is the Donald Wald, right? Donald Wald here, interestingly enough, was sued because of her statements against her own family. She actually made claims. This is a good breakdown of it. I'm not going to pull up the whole file. I just want you to hear this part. So the defendant, Ann Donald Wald, is president and CEO. This is the mother of the person talking about Eliza here, the people that they're in cohorts with. And again, I'm not saying that you are accountable for what other people do. What I'm saying is that, again, this is the introduction of listen and believe all over the fucking grid. Because, hey, so this person said, hey, as part of building up my business, they accused their own family. They said that their own family had been trafficking them. So the defendant is the president, CEO, and founder of Defendant Eve's Angels, a nonprofit entity dedicated to combating sex trafficking. Plaintiffs are Ann's parents and one of Ann's brothers. According to the complaint, Ann and her children resided with her parent, and her brother and her family lived next door. Ann moved out after her parents confronted her about the treatment of her daughter. Following her departure, Ann and Eve's Angels made allegations to the police and public representations on social media that the plaintiffs had sexually abused her minor son, her brother's minor son, and her grandchild. She also accused plaintiffs' involvement in sex trafficking and money laundering schemes. Criminal investigations ensued, resulting in no charges. Ann's daughter, her own daughter, eventually informed the plaintiffs that Ann had instructed her to confirm Ann's accusations for the purposes of extracting a payoff from her parents. The plaintiffs, that would be her own parents and her brother, sued for defamation, and they ended up with a default judgment. The default judgment for around $40,000, which ends up standing, by the way, throughout everything. It ends up standing. So, again, there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of questionable crap going on. But the worst part of it is asking the questions. You literally are risking your platforms for it. Fun times. People are also, some people are saying, well, the quartering's not actually banned. First of all, in our language, we use two words. They're qualifiers with bans. We call them temporary. We call them permanent bans. Now, as part of their bans, now everybody gets to make this decision, but it's part of theirs. They're being told to take down what they said before. That essentially is telling you that you were involved in some type of wrongdoing. It's the same thing with Yellow Flag. You were involved in some type of wrongdoing. Now, everybody gets to make their own decision on it. Like me, I'd probably let it stand for a couple of days to make a point that I'd take it down and be very loud about it. You know what I mean? I would come back and be like, and yell a lot. But the quartering has said, hey, this is permanent because this has been appealed. It's been appealed in multiple. Venti appealed it. The quartering appealed it. Yellow Flash appealed it. I don't know if Yellow Flash's appeal has been decided on yet, but in the other two cases, they were kicked. Elon Musk, Twitter, they decided, yeah, that's going to stand. That's good to go. This is an ongoing story too. What's been fascinating about it is so in every one of these instances, you have had, give me 1 second. So in every one of these instances, you have had trending along with these subjects, except, so let me show you this too. This is very interesting. Okay, so you've had, each time there's been a banning, there's been a free the quartering, free Yellow Flash, free Brittany Venti. By the way, I keep telling people, if I get banned for something, don't- if somebody trends hashtag free tug, I'm telling you, don't search that term, please. God, I know I can't even imagine what you'll run across on Twitter looking for that term. Beware, beware. Oh, hashtag free tug. Oh, gross. Anyway, each one of those has trended, and they've trended with a couple of thousand a couple of thousand to 10,000 mentions on it, right? Eliza Bleu isn't trending for me. She doesn't trend for most people. Some people have said, well, abroad in certain places, they may have gotten trending. I haven't found instances of the US trend or any major trending, despite we're talking a lot of mentions. In fact, anytime a certain name comes up, like a Eliza, you've seen it with Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, anything like that, then it doesn't have to be a hashtag. It also trends names. That's how Twitter works. So Eliza Bleu, all of that should trend in some way, shape, or form. All three of those should manage to trend, but they're not. That's seems kind of snaky, doesn't it? I mean, again, this is an ongoing situation, and it's a very odd situation where daily we have more and more stuff coming up. As Fair and Balanced noted, they definitely have enough information here. I mean, just clipping stuff like I showed you for 3 hours worth of video content, just on that alone. This is a story that should matter. It's a big story. Like I said, when I covered the quartering get hit, it's just starting. There's a lot more there, and people do not need to let this die. This is not a one and done. People are circling the wagons, and it makes you, this really bothers me, especially in the, I'm going to call it conservative sphere. When I talk about that, I mean the talking heads. I don't mean you if you're a conservative. I mean the people they're out there, the people that are bigger. Many of them, especially people that have platformed, they're pretending this didn't happen. Because if they pretend enough, then maybe it didn't happen, right? Only it has happened. And it's not going away. So we will continue to talk about this because I imagine there's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe one day we'll look over one of those rap videos. I got to get my mind right because I can't do it right now. It's so bad. I don't want to look at one of those rap videos. But I mean, the blind date stuff, there's just so much. And again, cringe. Everybody's done something in life that they're like, oh my God, that's cringy. You just laugh it off. Like if something comes up about you in the past and it's cringy, just laugh at it, go with it. Who cares? But it's not the cringe. It's not that's the problem. Again, it's the idea that they think they can scrub the entirety of this past. They can sanitize it, and somehow that'll change some type of outcome. I mean, it's weird. It's weird that it's happening, and it's weird that it's happening on a massive level. I mean, we are talking a massive level here. Hey, by the way, you like the thumbnail? You like that new thumbnail there? It does give me a little bit of a COVID fat belly too. I like that. It's more true to life. Check this out. I'll show it to you real quick. I want to read a couple of the super chats, and then we'll go to the. I want to show you the media. They've been wanting a little piece of old Tug again, old Tugalicious. So we're gonna get some of that too. Look at that. Oh, look at it. Got a little of that COVID bound. Like, yeah, baby. Ugh, got the fat on. I love it though. That's Peter Gilmore, by the way, made it. I love it. How am I feeling? I'm feeling good. I'm having a good fun time with this stuff. Dreadnought, thanks for the 5. Not free Tug. Should be free the pickle. LOL. Imagine the searches for that. Well, you know, when I get hit, I won't get to decide what it is. So I guess you wonderful people will get to decide if I do get hit for something. So let me read some of the super chats real fast for this topic, and then we will move on to that. We've got some good stuff. Like I said, we got some really fun ones today. Summer Breeze, thanks for the 20. Thank you for the super sticker with that too. Horse Chick Julie, thanks for the 20. No statement, plenty of statement. Thank you. Carissa, thanks for the 10. Hey, Tuck, can't believe a journalist wants to go against the Pickle King. Guess they want to find out how hard you spray the pickle juice in the American faces. Well, that's an image for sure. Go get them, Tug. Watch them cry. That's an image for sure. Bat Goat, thanks for the 5. Simping ain't easy, but it show is blue. Indeed. Crystal, thanks for the 2. This is why Tug is the GOAT. Quality stuff here. That was funny. I have to admit that stuff was funny. Becky G, thanks for the 5. This weirdo is in Elon Musk's circle. Yes. And Elon Musk is bending over backwards to break Twitter for them. And Dreadnought, also, thanks for the 5. Abusers, survivors, we're talking catfishing and not human trafficking. She's trying to make herself a victim for social media clout. Indeed. All right, so let's move to our next topic, which is a fun topic. I almost missed this one too, because it was kind of hidden. In fact, I wouldn't have known this was about me at all, except, I'm curious. I always search headlines, especially if they have a certain Aquaman starlet in them. And when I was looking through this, I noticed, wait a minute, this is about me. This isn't about her at all. It's a hit piece. Yeah, baby. It also proves that morons are not literate. But hey, we're going to show you that in just a second. Mr. 5, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, by the way. Thank you for that sincerely. I do appreciate it. Thank you. But check this stuff out here. So Aquaman could be sued for allowing Heard into this sequel. So they're talking about the Universal lawsuit about Ana de Armas, and they actually dismissed this outright. Now, if you've looked at the litigation for this is a lawsuit because somebody brought a trailer for a movie. They put it out into public and people sued over it because it showcased an actress in it, but she was not present in the film. They said that this was false advertisement. They listed all kinds of problems. And I said in a video with that, if this is actually one, that is one huge caveat for it. It would have to be one. This could change the entire landscape. This could cause litigation depending on what came out with an Aquaman trailer. I mean, very, very simple thing there to understand. You smack Heard in the middle of the damn thing, especially, which is going to be what all her simps are looking for. She's in the trailer whatsoever. She doesn't appear. Or, again, there are a few ways that this could actually lead. Now, could it lead to a fruitful litigation? Who knows? But again, it has the ability to change the landscape there. See, Universal, as well as any other movie production house, they have always said that trailers, the way they get around false advertisement in trailers is they call it free speech. Now, if you think about that, if I were to buy a pack of Skittles and it was full of raisins, I mean, that's false advertisement, right? But not for movies. That's free speech. It's just free speech and artistic integrity, right? So this, again, so they note, it's impossible to hear. Now, this is a month-old video, by the way. It hasn't been, this is a month old. And this is I think a 3-day-old article. So It's so hard not to hear her name anymore. And I'm like, you resurrected her for this hit piece. Okay. So they tell you about the what I just told you about that. And they said some analysts think that analyst in question is the YouTuber ThatUmbrellaGuy, better known as Tug, to a legion of rather embarrassing fans. I was like, at least I don't work for giant freaking robot, that's in its twilight, that has to be like, please, sir, cover me on your YouTube channel. Please, sir. Can I have another bashing? At least it'll get me a little traffic, right, sir? It's like, yeah. Oh, man. I swear. Nick V and EMC, thanks for the 2. Check Jenna Ramsey account, please, Tug. I'll have to. I think I saw some people talking about that. I'll have to check it out later. I definitely will. That's what I'm thinking about. Maybe something else. But he claims that California false advertisement law could possibly land Warner Brothers in hot water because the studio has failed to disclose. That's actually not what I said at all. You heard my description there. They're like, it doesn't disclose how much Amber will appear in it. That's not what I said at all. I said, if you lie about her being in there, especially her simps, you lie to them, she's in there. Oh, they're gonna have an insane time with it. It's the same way. False advertising is false advertising. And these morons want to pretend that, oh my God. I love it too. They're going to call you all neckbeards and stuff. He claims that this could result in blowback if Heard's role has been pared down following the ugly legal drama, or as some wild rumors claim, she has additional scenes. Actually, I didn't mention additional scenes. What a moron. Again, didn't mention that. I have never said that she has additional scenes. I've said that I do very well believe the coverage that says that the budget has ballooned to a whopping $200,000 or $200 million. I said 200,000. That'd be a great budget, actually. $200 million because of reshoots, and they don't want to add any more money. Because before you get into advertisement, you're talking about a movie that on a good day is going to, for advertisement, you're probably going to talk about even if we don't double, let's be nice. Let's say $350 million. You put $150 million into advertisement, right? Remember, they give away, let's be nice again. Let's just say they give away half. That's going to be all across the board, even though overseas, the split is actually worse. Overseas, you get more like 40% typically on average. But in the US, it's about 50-50 now after COVID. So let's just be nice, though, and say 50% is what you're going to bring home. To break even on that, if we're talking $350 million, just easy math. Again, fast math. There's more intricacy to it, could cost more. But you're talking about a $700 million movie. It has to make. And the advertisement to do damage control for this is probably going to be closer to doubling the budget. So you're probably talking about at least $800 million just to break even on this movie. So, I mean, it's an insane amount of money that they've invested in this thing. And I do very well believe that. But the other part, but basically, Tug thinks that disgruntled fans could bring a class action lawsuit based on the outcome of Universal's lawsuit just because they expected or hoped that Amber Heard would not be in the movie. Again, not what I said. Idiots. He thinks that those who are part of the suit will be able to, at minimum, get the cost of their ticket back. Yes, if you very well win a lawsuit, you think about this. If you win in litigation that said another actress was advertised as something and they're not there, and then it happens again. I wonder what that would mean. Man, it's not fucking rocket science here. Holy God, man. That would send some kind of message to the studio about lying to their demographics. If you can't already tell, Tug isn't a lawyer. And his thoughts about what could happen to Warner Brothers if Amber Heard appears in Aquaman 2 are a little more than neckbeard speculation. I tried to find a picture of this dude, and I found a few pictures of the person with the same name, and it looked like he had a neckbeard. What's he trying to say about himself there? I mean, me, I'm growing a luscious beard just because these people hate it so much. I'm gonna grow one. I'm gonna throw it over my shoulder. It's gonna be so long. It's gonna be like, whoof, I'm gonna throw it over like a Viking. Fools, man. For example, if the studio previously said her role was pared down, so again, they go through all these stupid things that are not said there to save you the time. But yes, there is a lawsuit right now suing Universal, and they make fun of that too. So again, on top of it, crapping on people who paid money to see someone that wasn't there. Hey, false advertisement. Bravo. Yeah, so if I open up a box of Raisinets and it's full of razor blades, fuck it, right? I mean, again, anything else that, any other product, but not that, right? Not that. I mean, again, when you're a official trailers, they are meant to sell movies, and lying about what's there, that's a lie. But like I said, Giant Robot has been on the decline for quite some time. In fact, I mean, they embarrass themselves all the time. Again, this is little more, in my opinion, than begging somebody, please notice, please notice. And also, they're like, I'm so tired of talking about Heard. By the way, here's an article about Amber. It's like and again, they went back and they grabbed something from a month ago that I talked about in it. And they're like, oh, by the way, it's like, man, that is absolutely freaking embarrassing. But it's not surprising. Now, there have been positive articles. Actually, Bounding into Comics picked up the article that talked about. Actually, did an article rather. They picked up the video that talked about Fantastic Beasts, which I very well. It is being ghosted. It very much is being ghosted. They are trying to erase it, every freaking thing. See, here's like a positive article. Again, Bounding into Comics will do positive articles. Give me 1 second here. There we are. I mean, they did like a positive, YouTuber, That Umbrella Guy, explains why Warner Brothers is ghosting the presumably dead Fantastic Beasts franchise. And they are, okay? Like, if you look at what they're doing. So on HBO, at the end of this month, they're taking off. They already own these properties, mind you. So you own them. There is no reason to shelf them because they don't cost you anything. You just put them on your platform because you already own them. They're keeping up 3, but they're taking off 1 and 2. Not only are they taking off 1 and 2, but behind the scenes, there is talk. See, there was speculation about this, but I've heard this from, we'll say parties, let's just say. But there's talk about them selling the God, what do you call the freaking rights? It's not distribution rights. Selling the distribution rights to another entity to allow them to put it. So they're not just talking about shelving it. They're talking about ghosting it off of Warner Brothers. Why would you do that? Well, the reason they're doing that is because they want to reboot the Harry Potter franchise. They want to bring in new shows. They've been talking show. They've been talking about trying to add movies. That's where Warner Brothers is right now. They're desperate. I mean, they are not healthy. When you have places out there that are telling you do not invest in a company, they're giving you warnings. Yeah. And they want to distance themselves from any of the controversy that's been around with anything. We just heard, I did a video today. I'm not going to pull all of this stuff up, but I did a video today talking about Jason Momoa's newest statements on Aquaman. He makes a statement, I will always be Aquaman. Now, the media went wild. They were like, oh, this means the Aquaman franchise forever. No, it doesn't. Because he actually says, I will always be Aquaman. Nobody's going to come in and take this shit away from me. Why would you think that? Why would somebody else take it? Well, then he makes a statement about how the other rumors, about playing other characters. Yeah. He's telling you that he gives a descriptor of Lobo, the character Lobo. The only reason you would switch a guy off from a viable character like Aquaman in its own series. You wouldn't have a guy play two characters in a universe while you have a mainstay franchise running. That doesn't make sense. You don't do stuff like that, because again, it cuts into your bottom dollar. I think they are afraid, deathly afraid, and are panicking, which they've shown. They've shown it over and over again about Aquaman. They're afraid it's going to fail, Aquaman 2. When it does, they know who to blame. Jason Momoa ain't it. He's not the person to blame. In fact, fans like Jason Momoa. I mean, he's made some stupid comments online, but God, that's par for the course these days. Oh, let me get a drink there. But yeah, it looks like for real. The ghosting effect it's legit on this. It looks like we're seeing a bailing out effect again with Jason Momoa. Warner Brothers is in such dire disarray. They also, when James Gunn came out, he said that all of these rumors that were going around, rumors like Lobo, for example, he said all of this stuff that was being brought up, you couldn't trust these rumors. And then weeks later, you have Jason Momoa being like, yeah, Lobo. He's telling you, yeah, I got the bailout plan in. Again, now maybe if the movie succeeds and does amazingly well, you might be talking about something else, but I think they're going to have real problems. Dreadnought, thanks for the 5. Cool. We're all famous. They didn't just mention you, Tug, but you're fantastic followers. Indeed. Maybe we should start selling autographs. Indeed. Maybe you should. Mystified, thanks for the 4 months at Tuggernauts. Chris Snellgrove at Pocket MD on Twitter. FYI. I'll have to check out the ad. I noticed something earlier today too. I actually noticed that the head editor at Rolling Stones has me blocked. So the Rolling Stone put out a hit piece on me. Remember? And the head editor, the guy who got blowback for it, as well as the person who wrote it, the editor blocked me because I was crapping on Rolling Stone so hard, I guess. That's pretty funny. I hadn't noticed it before. I noticed it today because there was some kind of, I don't remember, there was a political slap fight or something. And I was looking at it, I was like, what the hell is this mess? And I noticed like the head editor, the person that was part of the hit piece on me. You got to love journalism. It's just like Taylor Lorenz, Taylor Lorenz ghosts you online, blocks everyone she does hit pieces on. And then we'll talk shit. It's astounding. And of course, they complain, they whine and haw about Twitter, and yet they take advantage of one of the worst scammy features of Twitter, where you can block a person and still comment on their stuff, still spy on them. It's astounding. Okay, let's see. There was I don't know if you folks have been keeping up too, but there was a fascinating discussion the other day that came up from Nate the Lawyer. Now, Nate the Lawyer, let me pull this up. Okay, so Nate the Lawyer was talking about Mr. Bourgeois, because he likes to expose Mr. Bourgeois, right? And I want you to see, I need you to see this headline, okay? Because this says much. And then there's more to add to it. But look at this. Harry and Meghan Twitter expert ran online escort service and used Twitter bots. Wait, what? Wait, what? You mean Chris Bourgeois was running an escort service as well as all the fraud with Twitter bots? Do tell, Mr. Nate. Do tell. By the way, the entire video is up. You should watch this. But yeah, check this stuff out.
Yeah, boom. So this site is called If Solo. So If Solo is a dating website, and this is back from 2012, and this is it. And it's if you're going solo is not always an option. If Solo is that it can match attractive singles in a fun, safe environment. Attractive singles, right? Now it's interesting to note now I want to give some tells here. Generally, if you're talking about a dating service, you don't really try to see the words attractive and things of that nature because you have unattractive people also looking for dates, right?
Yes,
So when you start hearing those buzzwords like attractive people,
that's very much so. You want to you want to actually lure in the unattractive people. You want them to come and join because they feel like maybe they can get in there. You know, you don't use words like, you might be like, maybe find your attractive mate or something, but you don't say matching attractive. You know, again, there's a thing there. If you look at all the telltale signs, that's actually very true. Marketing 101, you know. Now, I say that one of the things when I was in college, originally, until I looked at what you could do with this with this degree, then I was like, nah. I actually was curious about IO, you know, industrial organizational psychology, or the psychology of consumerism. You know, how do you make people buy crap? How do you lure them into something? And there is, if you think that doesn't sound like something there, that is a $1 billion industry. You know, Coca-Cola, for example, there's a reason why they have certain colors that they utilize. When you go on websites looking at realty, there are specific reasons why they use certain keywords. They use certain coloration. They use certain tints. I mean, all of that. There is a science to it. It goes all the way back to right at the early right at the late 1800s, early 1900s. You know, L. Frank Baum, the guy who wrote Wizard of Oz, he wrote another thing. I think it's called The Storefront Window. It's been a long time. I can't remember exactly the name, but essentially this was big thinking back in the day. Instead of using the front of your store as a place to store your goods, why not get something called glass, put it in and put it in display? You know, again, consumer psychology. And it is $1 billion, because again, it's just like thumbnails on Twitter or thumbnails on YouTube, titles, anything. How do you get people to notice something? But anyway,
people who are sexy, and you're looking for to date a model or something, you're really edging onto that escort, you know, that prostitution type language versus your escort language, which is like, hey, if you need somebody to go to a date, that may be fine, blah, blah, blah. So the language here is a little tricky, but again, it doesn't mean it's a prostitution thing, but it doesn't. But again, it's just weirdly worded, because again, if you're just talking about escort service, looks matter, but also you know, they're not everyone who's looking for dating or services and stuff are attractive, right? You know, some older men, for instance, are looking for they may not be attractive, but they may have big wallets. So that's kind of what you're looking for when you're talking about whether something's an escort service or whether something's a dating service or whether something's a prostitution, right? So let's go on with this. So this is the service. It's free to join, and you can join. Now, Bouzy has even come out and claimed.
You notice right here too, support for sugar daddies, sugar mamas, and sugar babies. Oh my goodness. Get your sugar daddy on, baby. We ain't talking about the candy either.
That this service was his service, was his dating service. So let me show you that, just so you don't think that I'm just found this and made this up. I'm going to show you that this Bouzy said this is his service. Let me present. Stop presenting this. So let me show you how Bouzy, because somebody else found this and said, "Hey, Bouzy, this is a, you know, this is a bullshit dating service." Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. Christopher Bouzy. And let me put this on screen. So here we go. So this is Bouzy telling us about it. I love when hate accounts think they have uncovered something scandalous. In 2011, a few of us who created a 100% dating website for singles to find love in a project. It was ad supported, but people were still into Match.com and eHarmony, right? So that's what he's trying to sell it as. He's like, oh, I just did a dating website. It wasn't anything scandalous. And then he puts out this, which is the what's it called? The press release for this dating service. For this dating service. And later on, he says a competitor ended up acquiring the website's data. So he sold the data. Now, if you're thinking about Squattable or whatever that new
Squattable. Spoutable. If you're thinking about squattable, squattable. It's gonna have a giant well and a toilet. Squattable. Chris Bouzy, if you don't know, Chris Bouzy's new. Oh, who is Chris Bouzy, by the way? We should have started with that, just in case you don't know for some reason, because you're listening to the other stuff. The head of Squattable, he is a he is a bully for hire company. He is a company that has been acquired from people like Amber Heard, by his own statements, his own posts, people like Meghan Markle and more, for the express intent to get people demonetized, to attack channels, basically to do damage control for folks and attack their rivals, anyone else. I mean, he's nasty business. He's said some gross things about Nate the lawyer here. So he took a lot of aim at myself for months, and he put out a pretty fake report. Like a report that said, "Oh, look at what that umbrella guy said," basically trying to get my channel taken down. And it was pretty milk toast stuff anyway. But what happened was he put out these statements that looked like they were direct quotes from me, and they weren't. They were actually, there were portions of sentences. They weren't even complete sentences. He would take like a piece of a sentence from one. He would have time elapse. He would pick up some of the time elapses would be 6 hours. So he would go through and cherry pick 15 hours of live streams to try to find some dirt there. I mean, I kept thinking, damn. You notice too, like he didn't have the stones to go after people like Ricada Law. Oh, he got him. He was one of the reasons he got banned before the unbannings started on Twitter. But he didn't have the stones to go after him. Well, anyway, Ian Runkle called this stuff out. He rightly called that out because it was messed up. And myself, Runkle, Law and Lumber, and armies of other people, like all of the lawyers got involved, Emily Bay, everybody just was like, this is garbage. So he went in and ghost edited this. He ghost edited and put in ellipses, but even with ellipses, it's still a lie. But he never put in the disclaimer that he had been paid by Amber Heard's team in the past. He still put in no disclaimer that he had done that. And he had marketed this to multiple services, or multiple mainstream services. The Rolling Stone, for one. I told you I'd been blocked by their editor. Yeah, he had gotten them to participate in a mass flagging campaign. And part of that mass flagging campaign got a channel actually pulled down as part of it. Let's continue. My chat just went, it's fascinating. Talking about some of these people, I noticed my chat goes wonky sometimes. It's really weird. Continue though.
Twitter, fake Twitter he's trying to put forward, this may happen too. So I don't want anybody selling my data. So just be careful.
That's true too. But you know what? If somebody will sell your data in the past, they'll sell your data now. And you're an absolute moron if you think these people will not sell your data. You are an absolute moron if you think that. But, he's gone in, and Bouzy, what he's done, and this happens on any side of a political divide, but Bouzy is now using political-based buzzwords. He's using all of the, I'm going to call it the liberal sphere. Again, I said conservative sphere. I don't like right and left wing. I think those are, pointed. Those are jagged words sometimes. They're meant. Again, the connotation may not be negative, but I like conservative versus liberal better. So with the liberal sphere, he's managed to bait in a lot of people that they don't give. Actually, to be honest, people don't give a crap about what's said there. They buy into the buzzword. They buy into one of us, and it's garbage. I hate the one of us, just like we were talking about Eliza Bleu. That's part of one of us. The other side of that, Chris Bouzy, that's part of the one of us. And yeah, no. Mm-mm.
But here it is, right? He's saying he sold the data. Not only did they link people and blah, 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 blah. So he's trying to say, hey, this is just, this is just nothing. It's just a dating service that I did. But let's now read the press release.
Yeah,
and see how much of a dating service this press release actually is. Now check this out. Make sure let me pull it up. here's the press release. All right, so we're going to look at this press release. And this press release for this escort service / dating website, this is what it says. This is what it says. Popular new dating site offers features plus. Now, remember, dating is we're matching people. Escort is I got tickets and I need somebody to go with me. I need an escort, right? That's the difference. And that's what he kept hitting Yankee Wally's doing escort service. Yankee Wally's doing this. So, they're different, right? There are differences. So let's talk about Bouzy's dating service. So here, I'm going to pull it up, which is already up. And let me go. And this. So this is, again, here it's going to say, but that's not all. Emphasizes Christopher Bouzy, president and CEO of Agiska Corp. That's the company that he was running, his one-man company. Remember, he has all these different companies that he runs and all this stuff. So he marketed it as online dating sites. Forget that money isn't everything, especially when it comes to love and romance. But if solo is absolutely free dating matchmaking surface with all the bells and whistles, right? But it failed, obviously, it failed. Now, this is the part that brings it to from dating service to escort service. Listen to what he says. Christopher explains. One that everyone loves, for example, is our innovative Solo's classified feature. Solo's classified feature. Let's say a member has a ticket to an event, but doesn't have a companion, right? He or her can post details, and then potential companions can offer reasons why they believe they should be invited to come along. So you put out an ad, say, hey, I need an escort to go to, a concert. And then so you put the classifieds and people say, hey, look at me. I'm this.
Especially when you combine it with, hey, sugar daddies, sugar babies. Hey, would you like to be a fun date? Would you like to come along with me? And by the way, you want to be a sugar baby? That's exactly what is being described here. Holy crap. Yes, he was running an escort service. Wow. Fascinating stuff, right? The layers, you just peel the onion back. So, alleged crypto scammer. Peel that onion back. Escort service. Bot service that doesn't detect bots, but instead works for as a bully for hire company. Do tell. Do tell, right? Let's a little bit more of this. And again, I would encourage you, I may make a video on this. It is funny. It very much is funny, Amber Heard's team exposed right now. An escort service. Bam, baby. Oh shit. That sounds pretty good. I like it. That's a good title. Making jokes, Oh, that's a good title. Anyway.
Here's my figure. Here's all this stuff. That's what he's saying. This is the classified part, right? And he or she can post the details of the potential get blah 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 blah. I read that already. As they make their case, both of them also make a cool connection. So what started out as a solo evening has the potential to turn into a dynamic date. Now, this is a textbook, and I want to make it very clear. This is a textbook escort service, right? That's textbook escort service, right? I got tickets. I need an escort. I go here. I put it out. Hey, and then people come and say, which one can I go with? So Bouzy was running an escort service, right? And that doubled as a dating site. He did both. That's what this was. This is an escort service that was also a dating site. Now, was it prostitution? I don't know. I haven't spoken to anybody, any people who have done this. But obviously, it does have elements of dating, and it does have elements of being an escort service. Now, the prostitution piece, I don't know about, right? That doesn't say, he's not saying, pay for this or that. But
actually, it is. It says that on the front. Again, if you are picking up somebody as a quote unquote sugar daddy, that is trading companionship. And we know exactly what's meant there. Trading companionship for money. That's exactly what that means. How else do you define? Again, you can use the nicest terminology. Again, making this very clear, I don't give a shit what consenting adults do in their lives. You make your bank how you want. You know, if you want to come to an arrangement with somebody else, it ain't my business. You know, but it's fascinating. Again, profiting off of that and stuff, yeah, it's fascinating. You know, again, considering how people market themselves, and we'll also get to the bot farm portion of this too. K-Rap, thanks for the 10. Bot Sentinel started out as a tool used to call supporters of some politicians back in 2015. At the time the code was available, it uses keywords and hashtags to rate accounts. It's a complete fraud. Indeed, it is not about finding bots whatsoever. It is an attack tool. It is an attack tool for whatever Chris Bouzy decides he wants, whether that is pay for hire bully, whether that's profiting him in some other way. It is definitely that. You know, Bouzy's been talking about litigation too. Well, fucking come on then, man. Because I tell you, if Bouzy ever wants to roll, that mofo tried to shut me down. Oh, yeah, we will roll. We roll hardcore too. Plus, in the state of Tennessee, you're going to have a real hard time trying to do something here. You have a real hard time actually trying to get past anti-slap, period. But, oh, man, the counters to by itself would be gold. I mean, yeah, it'd be beautiful. Being like, yeah, you know, talking to a court and being like, you see this? And again, it was the Rolling Stone admitted that they were propositioned into false flagging. They said, you know, Bouzy admitted that he had been trying to take accounts down and YouTube wouldn't listen. So they told you they got involved and they did take accounts down. So that's the very real threat of monetary loss. The very real threat of damaging, again, YouTube's are not individuals out there. They can be, but people that are making money, paying taxes, doing all of that. Oh no, man, this is for profit, baby. This is absolutely for-profit business that this guy's been trying to shut down. So you have this. On top of that, which this has been fascinating, Nate the lawyer, as well as there have been a few people involved, but Nate the lawyer, and I've been going through and pulling up accounts that show you they definitely, maybe he can try to deny it. I'll show you what's here. And this could go one of two ways. Either Bouzy is running a bot farm or he's paying for bots, one or the other. It could be either one. So Bouzy, all right, just to make this clear first and foremost, Bouzy, he went by the name, give me one second, Iconic Expert. All right, this was his crypto name back in the day. All right, I'm going to show you proof of that before we continue forward. This right here, you know, he's talking about, I'm not going to play silly games. I'm not going to do this. Oh, look, no one cares about freak crypto nonsense. Okay, well, Iconic Expert, that was definitely him. Look, here's my new Twitter handle, @ChrisBouzy. So it's definitely him. Now, there's a lot of stuff attached to that, too. A lot of claims of scamming, just insane stuff attached to it. But on top of that, you have the bot usage. So you can see, like here, for example, look, this, different accounts, same date. They're all posting the same bot post. A long-awaited project by Iconic Expert was announced today. Again, that is definitely, it's one of two things when you see something like that. It either means that someone is going out and their purpose, they're purchasing, I said purposing, they're purchasing bots for whatever reason, or they're making them themselves. It's one or the other. It can't be both. I mean, well, it can be both. I mean, it can't be not that. It's what I mean. It can't be both. Jeez. Oh, what a day. And I mean, this isn't the only thing that's tied to. I mean, when you go through and you start looking this up, I mean, okay, so Chris Bouzy's own reports say that this is against Twitter rules, that this should get accounts taken down. He went after accounts because of Amber Heard, and he said tactics like copy pasta, copying and pasting duplicative content, were used to amplify messaging artificially. That by itself, if these were legit accounts, which they are not, you can absolutely tell they were created for the sole intent of doing this. If you go and look up, there are a few of them that hyped up a couple of other things, but these accounts still remain. That's how they found them. They just searched certain names. They found them posting the same thing repeatedly. Huh. That's a scam. That is straight up. AH team scamming, baby. They are 100% scamming. They bought not only did they pick up a fake expert, and so did Meghan and Harry, but they picked up a scammer. Somebody by their own rules that should be banned. Again, you can find every time this stuff comes up, you know. You saw Christopher Bouzy, saw the hashtag bite scent that was also involved in that post there. You can see hashtag bite scent by his own account there. He also inflated that artificially. And like I said, he's either running a bot farm or he is paying for them, you know. There's a bunch. And again, this ended up trending, which was beautiful. I was sick at the time. You know, I was having some problems, so I wasn't around, so I didn't get to cover this the way I want to. But you damn well better believe I'm going to cover it now. I'm going to get in there. Get in that ring, baby. Put on them gloves. Boy, he wants to fight with me. That's fine, man. You know, again, all of these jackasses just buying into his freaking buzzwording too. It amazes me. What he's going to do is he's going to end up selling these people's data after they go and after they end up supporting that platform. They pay for it. It's not going to work. There is no, you name a Twitter alternative that's worked. I mean, really. Like, name one that has actually worked. And Spoutable, you know, Spoutable is a terrible name anyway. Let's look it up. Let's look up that little logo where we're talking about it. Spoutable, it's not going to work at all. I mean, you have people out there that are trying to push this. Again, all of these folks that are doing it too. If you search off of here's actually a test of it, okay? If you want to see this. So if you look though, these are all hyper political pundits. They're all like, you know, I mean, look at this. It's all hyper political, but when you look at the test of it, okay, so we'll turn the music off here. So if you look at this though, this is your test of Spoutable. All right, this is what it's going to look like. Okay, Spoutable. It has a timeline. Wait, it's just a Twitter clone. And you're like, oh yeah, Twitter clone, right? Yeah, except for there's a couple of key differences here. It doesn't play video. That's right. So you can't embed any video into it. So it's a Twitter clone without all the features of Twitter. But hey, it's being marketed as an alternative where people can go and they can get away from Mr. Elon. It's like, yeah, you know what you need to do? You need to trade one cult of personality for another, right? Another one that will lock you down, ban you over whatever the person thinks. That's really going to help out, right? But hey, yay, buzzwords. Hey, just a minute, kiddo, walk here. Hey, what's up, kiddo?
So you know Rainbow Friends. If you don't know, that's okay.
Rainbow Friends?
You just haven't downloaded Roblox or you just know the title of the game. But you haven't really played it because you're not.
Why are we going right into Rainbow Friends? You want to say hi, by the way? Huh? You want to say hi?
Hi.
So you're playing, are you playing, no, you're playing Cult of the Lamb, right? No?
Not anymore.
Are you playing Rainbow Friends? No, why are we talking about rainbow friends?
Is it illegal?
Yes, it's illegal to talk about rainbow friends. Yeah, you're going to go to jail now. You better run. The police are coming. Be careful. Don't fall. I'll see you. I got. I go. Anyway, so this has gotten 53,000. Now look, it is an actual. It's just a Twitter clone. It's the exact same. Look at it. Bookmarking, messaging, explore, trending, notification profile. It is a copy, a new spout instead of a new tweet. If you look at the layout here, so you have your favoriting, your retweet buttons, your comment. I mean, again, it is a Twitter clone. It is just taking the basic. It's taking the basic outline of Twitter, and people are like, "Yeah, this is so great." What the fuck's great about it? That nobody can argue with you there? Oh, wow, man. Why don't you build up an echo chamber? Well, sooner or later, this is what you need to understand about an echo chamber. Anybody out there, I'm speaking to everyone. The echo chamber, sooner or later, will turn on you. It will. It will turn on you. It will ghost you because one day you won't align. For whatever reason, you will not align with what that thing's doing. I like too, I like too that they put Pookie and crack addiction right there. Oh man. But I mean, look at it. There's nothing there. I mean, these are people too that just, let's be honest. Okay, so it has the same layout for I what now? You creep back in to tell me I missed a super chat. This is not a super chat, it's a member comment, but it is important. So
Oh, and also, can I play with the Bowser ship?
yeah, it's yours. You can play with it.
Wait a minute. It's mine. I forgot that.
Yeah, it was yours. I just set it down here so it didn't get broken. A Bat Goat sent $10 and said, "For the Rainbow Dudes Fund. Love, Little Umbrella Girl." Hey, that's $10, man.
$10?
Oh yeah. Oh no, that was loud.
Sorry.
That was very loud. It sounded like an atomic bomb went off behind me. Yeah. Did your thing fall out? Oh, did you knock a book over?
I knocked a few of them.
All right, just pick them back up. It's okay.
Me too.
Yeah, she just knocked some books over, and they hit. Of all things, they hit. There's a gas, like an old gas stove out here. So when it hits it, it makes that bang. So it sounds like a bomb going off. She knocks some books over. They're everywhere. I mean, one thing I do, I like, if I get a chance. Apparently, what this house consists of now. How many times have I had to watch the movie It lately?
1,000.
Yeah, probably 1,000 times. Oh my God. I don't think I can watch Pennywise anymore.
Count after the 10.
I am trying to listen to. I do like that movie, and I do like that book. My Lord. All right. So anyway, we're gonna move. Let's see. Let's look one more time. Actually, I want to look at the rest of the statements about Spoutable, because I mean, when you look through this again, oh man, I love the feedback. What he's trying to claim is that he's going to have 1 million users in a month. There's no way. I mean, you have an army of clones that are coming up right now, an army of Twitter clones, because everybody's trying to get into the business of replacing Musk, which is fascinating to me in a lot of ways, because when the media, like again, I try to be non-biased against Elon Musk, but I do have a problem with Elon Musk. I very much do. I think Elon Musk shows all the warning signs of anyone that, when we say we oppose people, typically, he has all of those things. Again, he is not a free speech person at all. Not even close. Again, you can get into the semantics like, oh, there are certain horrible things that some people post. Are those really what you want? I mean, I'm talking about exploitive, horrible things. We can argue the free speech of that, where that belongs, but we're not. We're talking about speech that these folks don't like, that criticizes them. Like Elon, again, Eliza Bleu, that showcases exactly where free speech, what what hill he's willing to let Twitter die on. And remember, now Elon also, this is fascinating, just going to that idea for a second too. Let me bring this up real fast. So Elon actually is, after all the damage that he's done turning on the politicos, you know, he exposed all of the stuff that went on with Twitter. He also has argued with so many of them. Now he's meeting with the politicos, trying to get back with them. He's trying to get back in their good graces. He spoke with Speaker McCarthy. He spoke with Representative Jeffries. So he's speaking to both sides, saying, "Oh, we're going to have a fair platform." He's trying to get back in their good graces. You know why? Because he's going to end up on Capitol Hill. He's going to be asked some terribly questions he probably doesn't want to answer. I see that coming in the future. And he burned what happened. It should have been burned. But still, he burned what was happening behind the scenes, and they won't let him into the little party anymore. You know, part of that's the funding party, I imagine. And Twitter doesn't make money. That's a problem for people like Elon Musk. So him picking this fight recently that he has picked for Eliza Bleu, this is quite literal. I believe this is what kills Twitter right here. I very much believe it. And some people are like, I don't think so. Yeah, he doesn't have the politicos anymore. He's turned the mainstream media, the social justice crowd, he's turned all of them against him. So what's left? What was left is the customer base that he decided to attack because of Eliza Bleu. They were the people that were paying for his dream of Twitter Blue. And they won't now. I mean, he had, again, just in the people that he's hit people. They didn't just have audiences of over like quartering with 1.5 million people. They have audiences. They have more reach than that, and they could get people to back for this pipe dream that could be a better Twitter. I don't fault them for wanting to have that either, but they burned it. What's up, Angel? Thanks for the 5. How you doing, Tug? My fam and I have raised you in prayers. Well, I appreciate that for sure. I accept good thoughts, prayers, everything, and I am doing pretty good. I had a little off yesterday. I wasn't feeling the greatest, although I did get on last night. If you noticed, the live stream came up and disappeared. That was because Yellow Flash got banned. You know, Yellow Flash is one of my boys. You know, so him getting banned did not make me happy. He got hit because of the Eliza Bleu stuff. Yeah, he has actually, let me see. Star Wars Girl actually put up his ban. Let me pull that up real fast while I'm on this again. I've circled back to Twitter because we were talking about spoutable for a second. I think that's actually a thing that you can discuss in that. But I mean, if you look through here, I want to give you an idea of the type of chaos that is coming up. Just let's look at Star Wars Girl, her account real fast. Like, look at this. Like you see people talking about Eliza Bleu, talking about all this stuff about her and on, but see the account locked. Other people saying my account was locked. Yeah, here's me. Here's my account lock. I mean, again, you know, oh, here's another one, count lock. Here's Yellow Flash, though. Yellow Flash posted. So this is a link to what World Star Hip Hop or something. I can't remember all these places. I think that's what it is. It's one of these giant places out there. But this is the link to a rap video. They took down. They did the same thing again. They ghosted the links to this. They've marked them in Twitter as unsafe. Again, what you do with CP, I'm going to say. That's what that mechanism exists for. How do I know that mechanism exists for that? Because it was exposed by Elon Musk at the old Twitter. They did this. Again, I just want to compare what they're doing here. Elon Musk revealed in the Twitter files that when the Hunter Biden story came up, you can any side you want to take on that thing, the point here, listen to what Twitter did. Twitter decided to take the New York Post story and ghost it. They decided to not only ban people for share, they would ban you for sharing the link, which they're doing right now. This is the same thing that they did, but they used a mechanism in Twitter that is supposed to stop the spread of CP. You know, child exploitation here. That's what that mechanism exists for. They decided to shut that down, and they were making money behind the scenes. They were getting money from the FBI and more. Elon Musk decided to dump that out because he said, hey, that's wrong. That's a dirty pool, right? Now he's doing the same thing, not for a political entity, but one for his friends. He's using the same mechanism to protect Eliza Bleu. He called this stuff out as wrong, only to do it himself. Different reason, but again, it's the circling the wagon. And the craziest thing about this is Eliza Bleu didn't have to do this at all. All she had to do was say, yeah, you know what, I made videos, I was video vixen, so what, I can be whatever, you know? And then explain the date discrepancy. Hey, 2007, when you're running with My Chemical Romance, how does trafficking fit in? I mean, hell, even if she would have said that stupid thing about Twitter trafficking, oh, I was Twitter trafficking, people laughed at it and stuff, that would have blown over in a week. And people would have still been like, hey, she's a trafficking advocate, whatever. But instead of that, Twitter decided to die on this hill. And so many other people decided to join it too. You know, I'm not talking about people there are some people that I like that have not looked into this, and they've bought into the idea that Eliza Bleu is being bullied somehow with these discussions. Those people don't count. What I'm talking about are people that platformed this person, that built up a social presence. And then they've just decided to ghost the conversation. They know it exists, but they ghosted it because they don't want any of the blowback. Like, dude, I mean, you don't know who people are with stuff. I mean, I've in independent comic books, I used to platform anyone, you know, in the heyday of independence, when anybody could come up and say, yo, I got a project, you know, I'm locked out of the mainstream, whatever, I platform them. Some people turned out to absolutely be horrible. That's why I don't platform everybody anymore. But it's the same thing. You don't know. It's okay. It's absolutely okay to get it wrong. You bought into something, you just go back and you're smarter the next time. It's not like you told anybody to spend money on anything or anything else. But I'm just circling the wagon. You know, you're one of my people now. Again, you know, the political sphere is so weird to me. I'm not talking about your friends. Like if somebody were to say, come after one of my friends, you know, somebody I knew was in that, I would 100% go to war for them. I understand that. My voice would destroy the narrative out there, though. I wouldn't have to silence the critics because I would elbow drop the fuck out of them, and I would be right because I know who my friends are. So I'd be dropping that elbow. That's all I have to do. But this is a different thing. Again, there have been dozens of people. Again, it's banning and banning and banning and banning. And it doesn't stop. I mean, it just keeps going. It's wrong. It's 100% wrong. And they know it. Again, these are people that are supposedly free speech advocates. They supposedly stand for this stuff, but they don't. Now, another story, and I'm definitely doing a video on this, is the fall of Time's Up. So Time's Up, I've discussed this before, but Time's Up is done now. If you don't know about hashtag Time's Up, the company, right? So Time's Up, if you remember Time's Up or the Time's Up movement, that was part of, give me 1 minute. That's weird. That's really strange. Give me 1 second. I guess I'm gonna have to look it up on Google. For some reason, Brave as a browser doesn't have any hits on Time's Up. but the turmoil with Time's Up has just come to a head. The Time's Up, here we go. Time's Up is formally locking its doors. Now, if you don't know anything about it, let me lock on to the searches for this. Give me 1 second. I had to pull them up on a different browser. Like, there's no hits on Brave, which I thought was really weird. I had to go to Google and Google it, which I did not want to do. But here we go. Check that out. So Time's Up. They end up closing up. They close up shop. How Hollywood helped create and destroy Time's Up. I mean, you can see this popping off a couple of days ago now, or a few days ago. Now, this is big time too. And all these none of these places will call them out as what they are. Time's Up was a fraud. It was an absolute fraud. If you look at their numbers that they pulled up, not how they got closed down, but you look at their first year numbers, Time's Up was an absolute fraud. They spent around, here it is. So they raised $3,670,000. Here, I'm gonna post this one. So I want you to see this first. Now, the media absolutely ignored this after it came out. The New York Post, they were one of the places that broke this, and this was 100% ghosted when it came out. This came out before the problems with Time's Up. This should have done them in right here. So the organization, in its initial year, they raised $3,670,219, but spent $1.4 million on salaries. The salaries really comprise 3 people. So for 3 people, you spend 30% I mean, you're talking about a significant chunk of what you made just on those 3 people. All right, that would be Roberta Kaplan, who was one of AH's lawyers, and by the way, juicy, right? But they only spent $312,000 on the legal defense thing. So they raised money for legal defense. What they spend it on? Yeah, not the mission. Exactly right. They didn't. They spent. Charity watchdogs say that they recommend a nonprofit spend 75% of it and 25% on administration. Time's Up spent 38% on salaries alone. 38% just on salaries. So, I mean, when you think about that, again, you know, it's a fraud, but the powers that be, we will say, they were afraid to call this stuff out. They were afraid to speak up about it, because when you find something like this is taking on Me Too, you know. It always astounded me. So let's figure that up real quick. So they spent what? 312,000. My brain is, usually I can figure this up just in my head really fast, but for today, my percentage brain calculator is not working very well. So I'm just going to look it up real fast. So they spent 8.5% of what they raised on their mission. 8.5%. Like, really drink that in. 8.5%. That's fraud, man. Like, I don't know how you can call that anything else. They spent 38% on salaries and 8.5% on mission. Like, how can you call that anything? So they got in trouble, though, because they got involved in politics. They decided that they would side with, I'm going to say, quote unquote, abusers. All right. I don't want to call somebody an abuser that, again, on top of that, they sided with other abusers too. What if I were to tell you that that Time's Up also helped out Harvey Weinstein? I mean, here's reports on that. So Time's Up first revealed its partisan bias during Joe Biden's campaign, with former Senate staffer Tara Reid came forward accusing a married Senator Biden of pushing her against a wall, kissing her, and forcibly penetrating her with fingers under the skirt in 1993. Although the organization claimed Reid's allegations should not go unignored, it was later discovered that its own public relations firm, headed up by Anita Dunn, so they ignored it. Dunn, also as part of that, was also reported to have previously given Weinstein damage control advice. The irony, again, Time's Up. They're supposed to be, and remember, it's not just their, so the co-founder, again, Roberta Kaplan, the one that represented Amber Heard, also represented Harvey Weinstein, Juicy Smollett. Again, people that when you look at who put it together, but they made bank off of this stuff. They made bank. So when you look through this, they actually get themselves into trouble, though, because amongst all of these other folks that they're helping, and they do very much have a political bias. See, one of the things that people need to get used to confronting is the fact that politicians are scumbags most of the times, all of them. I mean, you find me a good politician, maybe maybe we can also prove that Bigfoot exists. You know what I mean? I mean, seriously, most politicians are absolute scumbags. It doesn't matter when you talk about, like, if you identify as a conservative or a liberal or whatever, you're talking about ideas or ideals. You're not talking about people, politicians. And yet many people confuse that idea. They think that the people that are in charge there, well, it's, they are either being attacked by the other side or it's an embarrassment or whatever. They won't do anything about it. And it should, regardless. You should watch this funk out on any side of it. So what you have here, though, is an organization that has taken millions of dollars, has also their, as a, are they a charity, or I can't remember how they're filed. I need to go back and look at them, to see exactly how they file their taxing as well, just to see what kind of exemptions they have too, because I would imagine that their filing is a charitable organization, That is what that said. Give me 1 second. Yeah, they are filing as a charity because that's indeed. So, as far as taxation on that goes too, again, the fraud it's an overwhelming fraud. Any other organization did this kind of stuff, they would be on blast on every news shelf. But because we're talking about something that is tied to Me Too, it's tied to political organizations, it just doesn't get that. So you have Cuomo, though. So Cuomo gets he gets accused. Now, I have not followed the story in the aftermath of that. I'm not going to say pro or con what went on to that. And I believe in due process. I believe that accusation alone does not doom you. It should not, although it is a political death knell in politics. It absolutely is. Let's not lie about that. It is. If you get accused and it gets big enough, you're done. So while Time's Up is talking about how they listen and believe, behind the scenes, they're doing damage control for Cuomo. They're doing anything they can to make sure that they can give advice and more to discredit, because they want to do damage. That's what they're there for. So, I mean, really, you're talking about, again, the face of this versus the reality behind the scenes. Months after this comes out, you have the Celebrity Advisory Board. They just fall apart. Now, like it said, there are many celebrity names that were attached to this because they were getting money hand over fist. Again, they were coming out at award shows and telling you, it's time for a change. It's time for this and that. And you notice now, not one of these people spoke out about what happened here too. They all just shut the fuck up and they walked away because that's who they are. At the core, they can talk about change in Hollywood, but guess what? They are Hollywood. They are that mechanism. They are. These are the people that are not related to those. These are the people in Hollywood. We're talking about nepotism, cronyism, or again, serving self-interest, because many of these people, we found out, Asia Argento, for example, with Me Too. We found out that Asia Argento, she had a lot of Me Too baggage she was carrying around. And it was fascinating because she came out and she said, yes, you must listen and believe me. Not don't believe my accuser. You must listen and believe me. You must listen and believe me as a woman. Even though I had somebody come out and tell you about what I did. It was fascinating stuff. So anyway, many of these people, though, I mean, you have Alyssa Milano on here, Brie Larson, Natalie Portman, Jessica Chastain. And again, I'm not saying that they did anything wrong in joining up. Many of them thought they were doing something. But yeah, when they came out with wrongdoing, they shouldn't have just quietly dissolved. I think they should have. They were loud about, calling out the wrongdoing of others. Well, fuck, you were attached to the wrongdoing. Call it out. Burn it down. Burn it down. But they burned it down, and it just went away in the middle of the night like it was nothing. And it's being allowed to walk away quietly. That's what the amazing thing about it is. Places like like Deadline, for example, if you look up their articles, I mean, they've had quite a bit to say when it comes to people like, Johnny Depp or whomever, when they come out and they point that finger, right? But when it comes to abusers that are closer to home, they don't have a lot to say at all. It's really fascinating. They just, that's it. Got a little blurb. Let's get out of here, right? Got to save face, baby. Got to save face. Scumbags, man. It's amazing what happens politically, and not what gets shielded, but what we allow sometimes, because many of us, we have not yet unlearned the conditioning of party interest or all this other stuff. There's only one interest. It's all of us. Screw all these artificial lines that people sell to us. They're not looking out for you. They're not doing anything for you. But a lot of people fall into that. I see there was one other thing I wanted to show you, and I thought was really funny. Give me a second. I got one other thing I want to show you. It started up the other day, and I think this is really funny because you have one of the Hurdies claiming that her own side is doxing her. And it's just getting funnier and funnier by the day, because even the Hurdies are calling this out. So the other day, this popped up. I think this is a pretty funny story, because they're eating each other is what's happening. They're losing control of their own setup. So the other day, this pops up with the, nothing alarms me more than learning that Amber Heard's supporters have been feeding Deppies as much personal information as they can to try to get me hurt or doxed to damage my platform, because they're jealous of me. I know who they are. They're jealous of me, baby. Very telling, right? So it starts out that way. All right, give me a second. I got to pull up the next part of this. Now, as it goes forward, you find out that, the jealousy. So let me spotlight this. Beatrice, I think it's funny. Man, you talk about somebody that's gotten hate online too. I understand sometimes why people lock their accounts down and talk about this stupid stuff. But then people are like, yo, that didn't happen. No, there's no proof. She's flat out lying again. They're warring on each other. Like, you see them, no receipts. Oh, wait a minute. I thought that was listen and believe. In fact, the funny thing about this is they go with listen and believe. Believing a woman is apparently still a big ask. So they're actually being confronted with the idea of listen and believe in real time. And they're like, wait a minute, this person's a liar, which is hilarious when you think about it. Wait a minute. I did think listen and believe was a thing, but you can't listen and believe this person. So, seems a little, That's beautiful. Johnny's girl, 1960. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tux Thugs. Thank you for that. I just think it's hilarious. I mean, you see it. So they're like, I'm being called a liar, a bully, a fascist, a dictator, a coward, and more. Because I said someone was sharing information about me with people who want to harm me. I'm still pretty shaken up, but I suppose I shouldn't be. Believing women is apparently still a big ask. This is the same person that cheered on fucking people when they were doing false police reports, when they're trying to, they're trying to do all kinds of messed up business. Here to myself. Yeah. It's weird. The people that you run with that will dox and do all that kind of shit, they'll do it to you too. Huh. Weird lesson. There's lessons all around here for the people that are looking at that saying, well, I listen and believe women, really? Because you don't listen and believe this person. And if one of them's a liar, then anyone can be a liar, right? Because anyone can be a liar. That's the point. That is absolutely the point. You don't listen and believe. You don't just take the word of somebody. You make sure to verify. That's why we have receipts. I mean, that's really the question of the day on everything we've talked about today is about verification. It's 100% about that. But people have apparently gotten off into the weeds, not verifying quite a bit of stuff. Give me 1 minute. Make sure there's no more super chats. Then we're going to wind down, baby. I'll be timely about today. 2 hours. I'm trying to keep it around there. So let me hit those super chats if there are any left. Then we will call it a day. That'll be amazing, huh? Be a weird thing for once. Give me a minute on the supers. Nancy, thanks for the 2. Ricky Gervais calling out Hollywood was glorious. Oh, I loved it. I love seeing that there for sure. Let me see. I think I caught everything else. I think I caught them real time. Let me just make sure. I saw the Jenna Ramsey thing. I'll look that up too. Yep. All right. I think we're good tonight. I thought this was an interesting one. I think the Elon Musk stuff will continue. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. We're not going to see less. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. We're going to see a lot more bannings. We're going to see a lot more people. We're going to see a lot more exposed too. In fact, what do you think? Should there be a video on that, do you think? I'm thinking that there's enough craziness that maybe there should be a video on that. All right. But anyway, I'm going to call it a day. Appreciate you folks. See ya.